The Grammy Awards have a long history of making controversial choices, but some decisions look even more wrong looking back. In this video, we'll look at 8 Grammy upsets that look worse with time. Esperanza Spalding winning Best New Artist. When Esperanza Spalding won Best New Artist in 2011, it was a moment that stunned nearly everyone watching. She was a talented jazz bassist and singer and had released a critically acclaimed album, but was far from a mainstream name. Meanwhile, her competition was stacked with powerhouses. Justin Bieber was fresh off his global breakthrough with My World 2.0 and hits like Baby. Drake had redefined hip-hop with Thank Me Later, and Florence and the Machine were leading a new wave of indie pop with Lungs. At the time, the Recording Academy defended the decision as recognizing musicianship over popularity, but the fallout showed how disconnected the choice felt. Bieber fans famously vandalized her Wikipedia page in frustration, and Drake still talks about the snub. But the Grammys have been known to make controversial choices. Esperanza has had a respected career in jazz, but doesn't have the global impact of the artist she beat. Looking back now, this upset feels more glaring. Drake went on to become one of the most successful artists of all time. Justin Bieber maintained his superstar status with multiple #1 singles and albums. Florence and the Machine have enjoyed a decade plus of critical and commercial success. Esperanza Spalding, though a gifted artist, didn't alter the trajectory of pop music in the way they did, making the 2011 award feel more like a baffling choice. River by Herbie Hancock winning Album of the Year. In 2008, the Grammy for Album of the Year went to Herbie Hancock's River the Joni Letters, a jazz tribute album to Joni Mitchell. While he is a legendary figure in music, him winning felt more like a Lifetime Achievement Award. His victory over Amy Winehouse's Back to Black was surprising. The album wasn't just a hit, it was an instant classic, with timeless hits like Rehab, You Know I'm Good, and Back to Black. She ushered in a soulful revival that influenced nearly every pop and R&B artist that followed. The Academy's decision reflected its long-standing bias toward rewarding traditional or jazz projects in top categories from time to time. Amy did walk away with multiple Grammys that night, including Record of the Year and Song of the Year for Rehab, but losing Album of the Year cast a shadow on what could have been a defining coronation of her short yet iconic career. For many fans, this was the Grammys failing to recognize a once-in-a-generation masterpiece. In hindsight, the choice looks even worse. Back to Black has become one of the most influential albums of the 21st century, shaping artists from Adele to Lana Del Rey, while River the Joni Letters has largely been forgotten. It was one of the most glaring Grammy upsets in recent memory. Dance With My Father by Luther Vandross winning Song of the Year. When Luther Vandross won Song of the Year in 2004 for Dance With My Father was heartfelt. It was even more meaningful as Luther had suffered a severe stroke the year before the ceremony. The Recording Academy clearly wanted to honor him with one of the night's biggest awards, and while the sentiment was understandable, the choice has aged poorly when viewed through the lens of music history. That same year, the song was up against 2 modern classics, Eminem's Lose Yourself and Christina Aguilera's Beautiful. Lose Yourself wasn't just a rap anthem, but a global phenomenon, spending 12 weeks on #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and winning an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Beautiful became a defining ballad of the 2000s, a self-empowerment anthem that is still referenced in pop culture. Both songs arguably had more cultural impact and staying power than the winner. With time, Dance With My Father feels more like a sentimental pick than a recognition of the era's defining music. While it remains a touching song, the Grammys' decision overlooked 2 songs that have become classics. In retrospect, most people agree that Lose Yourself or Beautiful would have been more historically justified winners. Morning Phase by Beck winning Album of the Year. One of the most infamous recent Grammy controversies came in 2015 when Beck's Morning Phase won Album of the Year over Beyoncé's self-titled album. While Beck's record was critically praised, it was a modest commercial performer, selling fewer than 500,000 copies worldwide. Beyoncé's 2013 surprise release was a cultural earthquake. It redefined the modern album rollout, being released without prior announcement and the visual album format. It went on to debut on #1 with over 600,000 copies sold in its first week, and produced hits like Drunk in Love and Partition. The backlash to the snub was immediate. Even Kanye West, who always defends Beyoncé, nearly stormed the stage in protest, arguing that it was the defining album of the year. Critics and fans agreed. Beyoncé wasn't just an album, It was a game changer. Big himself humbly acknowledged Beyoncé's artistry, saying she deserved the recognition just as much as him. Today, Morning Phase is rarely mentioned outside of his fanbase. While Beyoncé is regarded as one of the most important pop albums of the 21st century, this upset represents a glaring example of the Academy's struggle to balance mainstream impact and what is deemed the artistic choice. The Suburbs by Arcade Fire winning Album of the Year. When Arcade Fire's The Suburbs won Album of the Year at the 2011 Grammys, it was a surprise. While the album was strong in indie circles, it lacked the cultural footprint of its competition. The most shocking part of the night was watching Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster, a global pop juggernaut, lose the award, despite redefining what pop could look or sound like in the late 2000s. The Fame Monster was a cultural shift, with tracks like Bad Romance, Alejandro, and Telephone. Gaga dominated the airwaves. The visuals, performances, and chart impact made her the undisputed face of pop at the time. The album's commercial success and countless viral moments contrasted with The Suburbs, which never really broke through to the mainstream. Looking back, the choice feels like the Grammys rewarding the more favorable sound over undeniable influence. Arcade Fire's win fueled backlash from Gaga fans, who saw it as the Academy failing to recognize the obvious. Today, The Fame Monster is remembered as a pop classic, while The Suburbs feels like a niche album. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis beating Kendrick Lamar. In 2014, the Grammys rewarded Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist, the trophy for Best Rap Album, beating out Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. At the time, The Heist was commercially successful thanks to hits like Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us, which dominated radio. But Kendrick's album was called an instant classic, a cinematic concept project that captured the struggles of growing up in Compton. Critics immediately pointed out that while Macklemore had a great year, Kendrick's record was on another level. Even Macklemore himself seemed to agree. On the night of the ceremony, he famously texted Kendrick Lamar, apologizing for robbing him of the Grammy, then posted the message on Instagram, which only fueled the backlash. Even for Best New Artist, them taking the award over Kendrick now looks very wrong. The Grammys failed to reward an artist who went on to become one of the most impactful rappers of all time. Looking back a decade later, the decision feels more egregious. Good Kid, Mad City is now regarded as one of the greatest rap albums of all time. Meanwhile, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis broke up shortly after and are barely remembered now. Their Grammy win didn't age well, and it exposed the award show's tendency to take the safe route. Alessia Cara winning Best New Artist. The 2018 Best New Artist Award went to Alessia Cara, best known for songs like Here and Scars to You're Beautiful. While she was undeniably talented and had enjoyed mainstream success, her selection was controversial because she had already been releasing music for years. Meanwhile, SZA had just released her groundbreaking debut album Control, which not only scored universal acclaim, but also redefined the sound of R&B for a new generation. Fans argued that SZA embodied everything the Best New Artist Award should represent: an undeniable fresh voice, making a massive impact on music in real time. Control became a modern classic, and SZA losing the Best New Artist Award to Alessia Cara felt like a huge oversight, especially since Alessia herself admitted that she didn't feel like a new artist anymore. In hindsight, the decision looks even worse. SZA's career has only gone up levels since then. Her 2022 album SOS dominated the Billboard 200 for 10 weeks and cemented her as a generational star. Alessia, on the other hand, struggled to maintain the same level of mainstream attention after her win. The Recording Academy not only failed to capture the moment, but also handed the award to the less impactful artist. Christopher Cross winning Album of the Year. In 1981, Christopher Cross made history as the first artist to sweep all four of the Grammy's top categories: Album, Record, Song of the Year, and Best New Artist. His soft rock self-titled debut album was pleasant and filled with yacht rock staples like Sailing and Ride Like the Wind. While undeniably smooth and well-produced, it is hard to argue that it had the same legacy as Pink Floyd's The Wall, which was one of the nominees. The Wall was a generational event. Released at the end of 1979, it was a concept album that produced iconic tracks like Another Brick Wall Part 2, which itself hit #1 in multiple countries. Beyond chart success, it influenced prog rock and performance art for decades. Its legacy doesn't even compare to Christopher Cross's debut, which, while successful at the time, has not aged well. Looking back, This upset embodies the Grammys' reputation for playing it safe. They went for polished, radio-friendly sounds over bold, genre-defining statements. While Christopher Cross is now seen as a relic of its era, The Wall is still considered a masterpiece. Which Grammy upsets that look worse with time did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.